know how to handle a coffee interview. So sometimes the very first interview you might get is a coffee interview with a manager or an HR person. If you get called in for a coffee interview, be aware of some of the etiquette. So one of the first things to remember is to offer to pay. Most of the time, the person who's called you into the interview will actually pay, but have the manners and the courtesy and make the gesture to pay for the coffee or whatever your interview has decided to eat or order if they are eating with the coffee. Be aware of what's happening around you. Watch the interviewer. Don't ask a question when they're about to stuff their face with a croissant or a slice of toast or a muffin, because that leads to awkward silence while the person is trying to chew and get through chewing through that mouthful of food. So be conscious, be aware about how and when and the timing of questions that you might have. As always, be prepared. Just because it's a coffee interview and a lot more relaxed, a lot more casual, doesn't mean you don't go there prepared. Have your answers ready to go. Be comfortable. Make sure that you at least make the gesture to pay, that you're aware of the surroundings. If it's noisy and you find that it's difficult for you to concentrate or to, even hear the questions or have a decent conversation, then be bold and brave enough to suggest going to a quieter corner or even a quieter cafe in the nearby area. Because let's face it, most of these coffee interviews are going to occur in the CBD or around areas, industrial areas or business areas where there are more than one coffee places or cafeterias and so on. So choose somewhere where it's a little bit easier to hear, so you can hear clearly what's being asked of you and you can communicate clearly without having to raise your voice or yell out answers just to be heard. Take the initiative, be aware, don't be afraid to make a suggestion to go to a quieter place if that's the case. But approach a coffee interview the same way you would a normal, usual interview, except in this case, at least offer to pay for the coffee. Make the gesture, have the manners.